So wine tasting with Guy Smith. Normally when I open a bottle of wine, I just pour it into a glass and drink it. But at various points in my career, I've been employed just to taste wine, to evaluate it. And sometimes it's huge quantities, so you'll have a tank of 100,000 litres and you'd have to evaluate it to decide if it's good enough to be shipped or what prices to charge. And so the way we used to do it is the first thing, if you put this into the glass, is to look at it. And generally, white wines get darker as they get older, red wines get lighter. This one, confusingly, is a rosé. So the first thing you notice about it is it's completely clear, it's clean. This one does actually have a natural sediment because it's a natural wine, so it's not been pasteurized, so to speak. If you look at it, it's completely clear. And young wines, now this is very hard to see, on the rims of young wines, they're sort of water white. And older wines, the colour tends to go out further. So you can see with this is a pretty young wine. It's a 2023. So you can tell something about the wine before you drink it. And if you swirl it around, they call it the tears or the legs. You can't see this on this glass because it hasn't got any, which means it's got no sugar. So wines with a lot of sugar, or very extracted wines, have these sort of tears that come down. If the tears fall down quickly, this is a tip, it means it's had added sugar, generally. So quite often you could say this when I was tasting wine for work. I say, oh, you've added some sugar to this. And they'd be amazed. It's because these tears come down quickly. So this is a dry wine. It's a young wine. And then you swirl it around a bit and give it one good sniff. And this is lovely. It smells of cherries to me. So I think the best thing is also quite often is to say the first thing that comes into your mind. In fact, it's a very specific thing that came into my mind with this, which was cherry tunes. So you have to be an English person of a certain age to remember that tunes were like cough sweets in the 1970s. That smells like cherry tunes to me. And then when you taste it, you have to slurp it. Well, you don't have to, but this is what we did at work. So I don't know if you've ever seen film of tea tasters. And tea tasters have these little cups and spoons, they slurp it. And the reason for that is because in your mouth, all you taste is salt, sweet, bitter, and umami, and acid and sour. And so they're basic things, but where you have all the interesting flavors is in something called the olfactory nerve, which is in between your mouth and your nose. So if you slurp it, it becomes a vapor. I wouldn't recommend doing it with whiskey necessarily because it's quite painful. And sparkling wine is quite funny because it goes up your nose. But if you just slurp it, you just get more flavors. And so if I swirl this around, and then of course when I was working, I wouldn't swallow it, I'd spit it out. If you're tasting 50, after the 50th wine, you'd just be so drunk you'd love it. But and then just describing the flavor. So this is a completely dry wine. It's fermented completely dry. It's really quite long. It's got a lot of depth to it. Oh God, I love it. Well, I made it, so this is completely biased, so don't listen to what I'm saying. But yeah, it's a very natural wine. It's a sort of wine that actually would be quite good with food as well. It's got quite a lot of body to it, which I think is something you get from these wild ferments rather than using commercial yeasts. And so that's how we tasted wine for work. And you do get more if you go through that whole process, but normally we just open it and drink it. Cheers.